yeah. Oh yeah. Hello everybody. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. Or if you're in upside down world, good morning. I say upside down world because everything in Australia goes backwards, right? Right? Is that how that works? Is that how this works? Hello! I keep forgetting to switch that. I need to change the profile and everything. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're gonna fix that eventually. Hello! How are we? Good day. Welcome to Dan's Stream of Thought. Let's take a second and let's hang out for a moment. You know what I probably need to do is figure out how to change the title from mod view. Maybe you can't do that here? Can you not do that in mod view? I guess not. Hold on. Yes, this is how Australians spec. How are you guys? How's everybody? How we feeling? How we living? I know it's a rough time. Creator view dashboard. Oh, you have to see the dashboard, really? I'm going to the dashboard manually right now. So they can't do it from the mod view, which is I guess so. Like with a lot of things Twitch does, they have like really cool ideas. They have really awesome and cool ideas, but there's always like something missing. Granted, that goes with all design things, right? I feel like that should be right there, right? I feel like there. Wait, hold on. Where is it? There's a button from mod view in channel actions. Yeah. To go to the dashboard. Yeah. Of course, but it shouldn't be another window, in my opinion. That's fine. I'm here already. It's fine. But yeah, that's a little bit strange. Anyway, sorry. I'm sounding a bit like I just woke up because I did. Well, like an hour and a half ago. But I'm the weird one in most of the Twitch world, or most of the world probably, actually. My normal wake up time is like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. normally, because I stream all night. I am a night streamer. Attitudes of the face of the show. How about that? We'll come up with something pretentious for the title. Streamer attitudes. I was talking to Karatzi and he was like, do you have any idea of what you want to do? I was like, interesting. Now that you ask, I must think of it. So I thought about something real quick. It's like streamer attitudes because, well, actually, I'll take this back. I'll give full credit to Katie for this one. She actually came up with an idea, or she mentioned something. She mentioned something that sparked the idea, and then we talked about it, and it made perfect sense to me. So I automatically just wrote him, and I was like, "Hey, this is what we're talking about this week." This is what we're talking about because it's extremely important to talk about this. We'll get into it in just a second, but I want to say hi to everybody. Today we are talking about streamer attitudes or content creator attitudes, or as I've come up with my pretentious title, attitudes of the face for the show. Don't you set title from OBS when going live? I do not, because I do not use Streamlabs OBS, and I do not use those fancy OBSs. I also try not to clutter my OBS with all the add-ons that they use, because while OBS is a fantastic fantastic program, not problem, and one of definitely the best. Well, I say that it's the most usable and user-friendly streaming software out there. I think almost everybody should be using OBS unless you have some sort of training in another program. Personally, I would love to be using something like Live. I think it's Livewire, Live Cable, something like that. That's the more professional one. But then there's also what the heck is that one? That one that they canceled like a year ago. Game Stream? No, what the heck is that called? I forget what it's called, but it was one that they canceled not that long ago. That was extremely professional. The only unfortunate part, and it makes sense because of how they use it, is it didn't take a lot of browser additions, which OBS does because it's open software, right? It's open source, so you can do whatever you want with OBS, which is what makes OBS so great. Unfortunately, there's a lot of services that OBS has provided to streamers, and streamers have not really given back to them. There's a Patreon out there for OBS, and if you have benefited from OBS, you should definitely give to them at least like, $5, because I guarantee you've made more than that. But the big thing there is they were not making money because they were doing it for free for years, and they were developing more and more stuff for like things like AGDQ and other giant professional broadcasts. And they were doing it all for free, and there was a lot of people that were working very hard on that, and then they had to turn it into a business, or else they were going to just continue to lose money. So they teamed up with Streamlabs. They teamed up with, I think, Stream Elements as well. They teamed up with a whole bunch of different companies to get them paid, essentially, which is 100% what you should be doing. They were doing it absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with them. But unfortunately, those partners kind of drove how they developed the rest of their program, and that sort of left a few of maybe their ambitions in the dust, at least from what I can tell. It seems like there are little things that are skipped over often, but probably because they're rushed. New products, new software, it's just kind of how it goes. The same thing with the game development area. It's the same thing with any type of software development, in honesty. Things get rushed out because there's no real safety procedure when it comes to developing a product that is software, right? The only thing you need is your basics, which is, can I get hacked easily? Can somebody easily find my information? Like that's the stuff that you have to have an age restriction, or at least an age disclaimer, so that you don't get sued by the state or the country you live in, the federal government, for proprietary, basically child pedophilia and stuff like that, because that has happened. I don't know if you guys have seen Silicon Valley, but that was based on a lot of true stories that happened in Silicon Valley. There was an episode all about their product not having a question asking people's age, or at least asking if they were 13 years of age or older, or 18 years of age or older. So there was whether or not there was a lot of people going in that were super young, or there were people that were going in super old and then talking to these people and then blah, 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 blah. Long story short is they were basically threatened with a multi-million-dollar fine because of that, for good reason, because they don't want people getting creepy, you know what I mean? So aside from that, which, because it's software, you can just plug and play a lot of things. But aside from that, there's not too many things you have to put in your software in order to release it. So technically, there's not a whole lot of things that necessarily have to be checked and double checked and triple checked in order to put it out in the world. Most products that are physical, like toys, like foods, like drugs, like pretty much like computer pieces, like actual hardware, all that stuff has to be checked and triple checked and made sure that it works and doesn't blow up in people's faces, so they don't have giant lawsuits on their hands. This is different in the software world, obviously, for those reasons. So, with that, there's a lot of things that come out broken, there's a lot of things that come out unfinished, there's a lot of things that come out that work for a second, and then they get updated, and then they break. Like, there's just so many different things that happen. you know, those things are just going to happen forever because it's software, because we don't have those regulations, nor do we, like, it's also a conversation of, do we really need those regulations? I don't know. It'd be nice to have them, definitely, but do we really need them for the safety of others? I think we have most of the safety procedures in there. I'd like to see if, we can probably talk about that at a later date, though. There's a lot of things that come in here. We talked about safety and privacy last week, which was very good. We talked about a lot of things. We had a few lawyers actually in here talking about some cool things, too. But we're going to continue with that at a later date as well. What else? So, what games have you been playing? Oh, wait. I know the answer to that. It rhymes with schmanimal schmossing. But I know a lot of you played Doom, right? And then Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord came out yesterday in early access, and I played that last night. Oh my god, it's super fun. It is super fun. Like I'm like, it's early access, so there's still a few things that need to be worked out and ironed out, but it is darn good. It is hot darn good, my friends. That it is. I recommend playing that. And then we also have, what do we have? We have the Artifact update that came out today for Risk of Rain on PC. Consoles and stuff come later, but on PC, the Artifact update just came out. Can you fire the goddamn trebuchets? I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't played Siege yet. When we were playing last night, there wasn't enough people on because it's a 50 versus 50 game mode. But I haven't played it yet. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Yeah. It's fun. And the campaign is super fun. The campaign is super fun. So, yeah. I recommend trying that out if you're into it. It's still like $45 or something like that. So, definitely, it's a pretty penny, especially right now. But it's exactly what we're going to get into. So, might as well just start the show. Let's do this. Let me hit the record button. Welcome to an all-new episode of Dan's Stream of Thought right here. My name is Dan Otage, aka Dan, aka Dano, aka the guy with the mustache. But you can't see that if you're listening to the audio version. You can see that if you're watching the stream version right here on twitch.tv/StreamerSquare. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys had a good time this last week and these last couple shows. We just finished off with Behind Streams, which was awesome. Talking about the new mod page. I would love to. I'm looking at the mod page right now. The mod page seems really nice. It seems like they used a lot of the same things that they brought over from the new dashboard, which is great. There's a lot of interesting windows. It hopefully leaves room for people to actually watch the stream because it does look a little bit cluttered, but I guess that's okay because there's a lot of mods who take their jobs very seriously, and that's awesome. I appreciate every single one of those. Today is also Mod Day! Happy Mod Day, mods. Can't believe Loco made you guys work today. What's that all about? You don't get Mod... Mod Day is not a international holiday? Where you get it off? You don't get the day off? What's that all about? I'm gonna have to sit down with Loco and walk her through the OSHA regulations, rules and regulations about Mod Day. Mods should be modding, not watching. Mods don't need to watch the show. They don't need entertainment. You need to be modding. Why aren't you modding? The cool thing about the mod page, though, is there's a little icon in the top left corner that says there's a little sword, and it's there's a number below it. And that number indicates how many active mods there are in the channel. Right now it's 12, by the way. It's 12. So if a mod action needs to actually take action and nobody does it, I now can say that there's 12 active mods that are not doing their job. I now have a number to point to. Okay? There's a number I can point to now. No, that's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. It is nice though. I'm excited to see what my mods think of and stuff like that. What they think of this, of the mod page. I know that a lot of my mods, because they're nerds, probably won't be using it because, like I said, they're nerds, and they'll be using their own tools, some of which they've created themselves. So we'll see how that goes. It's one of those things too. It's like if even if the first party brings out something, if you created it, you want to keep using it, right? Because it's customized to you. Shows me as a mod here. I mean, you're not wrong. But no, I've got no excuses. I've got no excuses. I'm not gonna mod the own stream that I'm working on, right? Excuses. Okay, so for those that don't know what topic we're talking about today, maybe you didn't read the stream title, maybe you didn't read the show title, or whatever it is that you're watching this and listening to this to on with thee. We are talking about stream attitudes. We're talking about the attitudes behind the face of the person you see on the screen. So let's first talk about how this came up. So Katie, my lovely girlfriend, who she works right there, although she's in the other room doing yoga at the moment. She watches a lot of streams and stuff while she works, as I'm sure most of you do. Watch a lot of streams, watch a lot of YouTube channels. Fortunately, YouTube channels you can edit kind of around this, but still. A lot of streams, live streams are the hardest part to get through because of this notion. The notion of I am somebody that people are going to look for and seek entertainment from, right? Now, there's a lot of people who have a reputation or a brand of having a bad attitude, or a negative attitude, or a lively, I'm going to yell attitude, right? And that's, if that's what it is, that's what it is. If that's what you go for, that's what you go for. I would say in this trying time where people are basically stuck in their houses and they don't necessarily want to be flooded with negativity, now might not be the time to start that brand up. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if you're looking to start your stream up, now may not be the time. Obviously, we make these shows to be timeless, so look forward and be part of that. If you want to go that route, you could definitely go that route. As a general piece of advice, I wouldn't go that route, because no matter what kind of time it is in the world, there's always people that are out there that are going to be sad, that are going to be looking for people to bring them up. If they're looking for things to bring them down, they usually go to Reddit or something different, or they they troll somewhere else, right? They troll on the internet, but that's exactly what mods are for, as we were just talking about. So, with that being said, let's think about the things that people are watching. So the reason this topic came up is because she was watching somebody. I'm not going to say who it is. She was watching somebody, and she was like, yeah, I watch this person all the time. Like, I watch this person like almost every day. But today they were grumpy. They were in a mood. And basically they were being defensive against anything anybody said in chat, and I just didn't want to be there anymore, because the person, like, she was not chatting. Like, it wasn't like she felt like she was being targeted or anything. She wasn't chatting, she was working. So she was just listening to it all, and she's like, I just don't want to be here anymore, because it doesn't feel like a nice place to be, right? Now, we might go the Gordon Ramsay route and tell people to stop being snowflakes, but that's so short-sighted, in my opinion. There's so many short-sightedness thoughts and mentalities and defeatists, which will go in the book eventually, attitudes behind, oh, just stop being a snowflake, or stop being weak, or stop being soft and just suck it up. It's like, no, you're accepting not being better, which is not okay, to me at least. Accepting not being better, or accepting not being improved upon with whatever it is that you might be doing is its own issue, right? And that doesn't you know, if you're a content creator and you maybe have been having these days lately, this isn't to discourage you from ever, you know, streaming again. Like it's obviously it's not going to draw your regulars away forever, right? There may be people that don't come by for a while, but in this because they don't know what to expect. They don't know if you're a loose cannon cop that doesn't play by the rules. But they don't know about those things, so they may not show up for a little bit, but they will be back, right? They will be back, so keep going. Like a lot of these people do come back, especially when they see you doing well, right? And when, I'll tell you right now, with a good attitude, almost always will you do better. Now, I'm not going to say always because, well, there's a lot of things that come into play with, you know, having good streams or good viewership. Like, quite honestly, the best streams I've had are not necessarily high viewer streams, but they're high activity in chat streams. And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes I just feel good about what I'm saying and we're having a good time. And then every now and then I see a flood of emotes that are just like, hey, this is awesome. We like this. This is awesome. So it's a lot of like, hey, let's think about what exactly we're putting out into the world and let's take ownership of it. You know what I mean? Let's take ownership of what's going on. And that's going to be the theme of a lot of your attitude. Your attitude is going to be a lot about ownership, right? Because you're not going to be perfect, okay? There's absolutely nothing that says you need to be perfect and have the perfect, most positive attitude in the world on stream at all times. It's not possible. Not in my opinion, at least. I think even... So Kit Boga is one of the best examples of this, but even Kit Boga gets a little bit irritated from some of these scammers, and they're sitting, and he just has to like calm down for a second, right? You know, he's not raging at chat or anything, but he can get like it's easy to get mad at a lot of these people who are being total scumbags. So he just like sit there and like just they have to calm down for a second. But that's exactly taking ownership of that, right? The more and more you don't take ownership of that attitude that has become of whatever it is that has arisen from your thoughts or your actions or whatever has happened on stream, it may spiral out of control. And I know this because this has happened to me many times. If I don't take ownership of the fact that I'm being a grumpy butt at the moment, I'll deny it. It won't get better. It'll, in fact, possibly get worse, especially when people continue to talk about it or when people continue to say things that maybe have irritated me in the first place. But again, if I don't take ownership of the bad attitude that I have about it, those things are going to continue to irritate me. And, you know, sometimes you just need a snack. Sometimes you need a Snickers bar, you know? Sometimes you're being a diva, you just need a little fuel in the tank. Sometimes you've been streaming too long, you know? And this is we'll get to that being a very difficult part in just a second, but back to the fact, because that's actually a very important subject. But back to the point of like, let's take ownership of the fact that we put out a product, we put out a show, we put out an image that people look for, right? I'd like to think that people, and I mean, people have been telling me this lately because I've been talking about it, that we put out a pretty positive show every single day, right? That people watch the stream and watch my stream because of the positivity we put out. But I know for a fact that we're not always that positive. I know for a fact that every now and then we can get a little bit irritated and we could snap back at things, or we can get frustrated with the fact that it's not working out for us right now. We can do a lot of things, right? Don't let perfect get in the way of good. That's a great comment. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. Yeah, 100%. Being perfect, or at least the thriving, the strife to try to become perfect is what's going to tear you down and make you more imperfect. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? The want and need to be perfect is exactly what will make you imperfect. Now, accepting that you're imperfect and working with what you have and doing the best that you can to be good and great, but not perfect, will actually, ironically enough, take you closer to perfect. Now, again, there's nothing's ever going to be perfect, right? Everybody, it's a very common saying to say nobody's perfect. And that's true, right? It's one of those, I think it's a saying pretty much all over the world, and it's there because it's pretty much true unequivocally. Nobody is perfect. Granted, you have to go to the pure definition of what is perfect, not what is perfect for a situation. Because there are people who tend to at least define perfect as imperfect in a lot of ways. Like, you're perfect because you have flaws, and those flaws don't break you down. Those flaws don't hurt others. Those flaws are sometimes positives. Like, that's perfect to a lot of people, but that's not the pure definition of perfect. That's what we're talking about at this moment. So let's try not to be perfect, right? Not to mention that's just gonna stress you out. I mean, that's part of that. It's part of that whole explanation too. But like, trying to make your stream perfect all the time, trying to make your life perfect all the time, it's gonna stress you out. Obviously, that leads to you being even worse, right? As to whatever that it is that you saw in your flaws are just gonna be more advanced at that point. Yeah, there's no reason to try to be perfect, ever. And the more and more we accept that we're not perfect, the more and more we accept that we can just be who we are and be the best version of us we can. I'm not saying that you're going to be happy and your attitude is going to change overnight. That's something that is beyond just content creation. That's something you learn basically throughout the entirety of your life. So that's not, and we're not here to talk about that. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a guru. Although I don't think those guys, are those guys all hacks? Are all those life gurus and people who stand up with the big teeth and talk on stage to millions of people and make billions of dollars, are they all hacks? That can't be real, right? You can't talk to more than like, so this is my hypothesis with a lot of things. You can't talk to more than 100 people and be right about every single one with the same you can't typecast 100 people and then they're all exactly the same. You can find those through like many studies and say, oh, these people are all going to act the same because we've researched this and forever. But even then, there's going to be some differences in them, right? You can't give those things, right? So this is the constant battle I have with myself when I have these conversations with you guys in chat about these topics. It's like, I can give out this advice. I mean, it's the whole problem with writing this book too. This whole book that we did here, the whole problem with that was, how do you write a book that hits everybody? Well, you don't. In fact, this was my solution. We have sections in here that speak to different kinds of people. And sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. But this whole book isn't for you. This entire book is not for you. This entire book is not for anybody. And the point in saying that is, sections of this book may be for you. I don't know which sections they are yet. I don't know if you're going to connect with a section I don't think you're going to connect with, and you might. I don't know those things. So we wrote this book in the thought process of, we don't want to write an entire book for everybody. We want to write sections that meet people's priorities and things that they like and what they need and what they're asking for different kinds of people all over the place. And be able to say, you're going to connect with 4 out of 10 subjects in here, right? You're going to connect with 6 out of 10 subjects in here. You're going to connect with 1 out of 10 subjects from here. But we'll at least write the book so that at least one section can connect with any type of content creator or streamer in this case. And the same thing goes with your attitude in thinking about how you put yourself forward in type of a show, right? So let's talk about the fact that well, let's talk about an idea, I guess, not really a fact. You're sitting in your channel. You're in a good mood, right? Something happens, and you know, I learned this from a lot of people. I learned this from Simcopter a lot, too. Be honest with you and your community. So you're sitting there. Somebody says something in chat. You don't like it. It makes you a little irritated, maybe. Maybe you don't even comment on it. Maybe you totally ignore it. This happened to me yesterday, actually. Maybe you totally you're just like, oh, that's a comment I'm not going to listen to. And if you're a smaller broadcaster, you don't have a very active chat, it might sit in there for a little bit, right? Maybe it's not bannable or deletable. Maybe it's not something that's there, but you see it and it's like, oh, no, I'm not gonna respond to that. It's not something I want to get into. It's okay to talk about why you're not going to respond to it, but also own the fact that it is something that has caught your attention and may be changing your mood a little bit. So if you see the comment, it kind of sets you off. You're not really in the moment there, so you're not really thinking about it yet. But another comment comes in later, and you kind of snap at it a little bit of like, I already said it. I already said I'm not going to do that, right? Hey, you thinking about playing this game today? I already said I'm not going to do that. It's like, well, that person may not have been here. Then reel back, you know. Hey, I'm sorry. I very much was very crass with you, a little bit quick, a little bit short-sighted. I just made something very... I'm sorry. There was a comment earlier. I didn't really like it. It maybe set me in a different mood. That's not your fault. You did not do anything wrong. You simply asked a question, and I answered while I was in a different mood. We're all humans. We should all understand that, right? And if the person doesn't understand that, then, you know, that happens. That's just going to happen. Don't put that on yourself, because a lot of this is protecting yourself, right? Don't put that on yourself to where if that person that you snapped at gets mad at you, even after you apologized, because of whatever reason, that's not your fault, right? Okay? Don't take that upon yourself. Don't put that on you, because we're all dealing with things. We're all dealing with issues. We're all dealing with emotions. We're all emotional. We all have emotions, right? We're human beings, right? Even those that say they have no emotions, they have emotions. It's just may not be as strong. They might not be as overtaking, but they're there, right? Those emotions exist. And everybody should be able to understand that. And if they don't, then, you know, it happens, right? But they probably will. So it's okay to explain those things. If you don't want to explain those things, fine. If you want to pull them into a whisper or a DM, which I do sometimes too, that's totally fine. Maybe during a break, or maybe you really feel like it's bothering you and you just need to take a quick 2-minute break and be like, hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna get up and stretch. I'm gonna do a couple things. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. And then put up a be right back screen, message the person, hey, I'm sorry that I snapped at you. I didn't mean to. There was another comment in chat, blah, blah, blah. You say the same thing you were going to say on live on stream. Hopefully they'll understand that, you know. It's not something that changes the content of your stream, because a lot of people don't like to do that, right? I want to apologize to this person, but I don't want to make that as a piece of content as part of the show that I'm trying to create, right? Personally, I see my stream as a community hangout. I see my YouTube channel as a content creation platform, right? We play games, obviously, on stream. We make content on stream, technically. But it's a lot of, let's do this all together. Let's be part of a position together. And then later on YouTube, we put together something that is maybe a little bit more of a show to watch while you're just sitting eating popcorn or whatever it might be. So yeah. So you have all that, right? You have all these things that can affect your mood, right? Comments in chat, the game itself. I guess we didn't even talk about the game. Somebody mentioned earlier, okay, maybe I shouldn't stream Overwatch. I think there is availability, positivity in anything you're doing, right? You can be positive about absolutely anything you do, and that's important. Because yes, there are games like Overwatch that will set many people off, especially when you're in voice chat and people are like, hey, you're playing badly even though I have 0 kills and I'm playing a DPS character. You're playing badly. Be better. And it's very easy. Like, it's just rude. It's toxic. It's inflammatory. It can set you off. It can 100% set you off. Totally. And I get it. I wouldn't be upset if it upset you. I wouldn't say that you're wrong for being upset. But to remember that you're playing a show, or that you're putting on a show, and maybe playing a toxic game, maybe it takes that little extra amount of effort to say, hey, I'm putting on a show. We're just trying to be positive here. You may be saying this in your head. It's like, hey, all right, this guy's being a jerk. It's okay. We're just going to leave him. That's fine. We're just going to ignore him, or we're going to mute him. Easy as that. Almost everything now has tools to where you can use those. Utilize it in a way that says, I'm just going to get rid of this negativity around me. Now, that may be what's building up the snowflakes for the Gordon Ramsay fans out there. But at the same time, we can go back to the fact that we don't have to subject ourselves to all these things all the time. We can actually leave it and be more productive in the world, because we can actually, you know, have these things go. To be a snowflake would say that you're not being subject to a lot of toxicity in the world, when we literally have so many things in politics and so many things in the world happening that, as long as we just pay attention to, we can at least know those things and do a better job at it, right? And that's something too. Attitude can go a lot of different ways. If you really don't want to hear politics in your channel, and that puts you in a bad mood, obviously put that in your rule set. And it's, you know, it's a personal opinion to say that that's something that's irresponsible, but that's something that, if you really don't want that, you don't want it. Don't put it in there. It's how it's going to affect your mood. Sure, don't put it in there. Or do put it in there, I should say. Just put it in your rules to not talk about it. Don't let it happen. But again, we have all these tools to allow us to control what it is, what type of things that it is that we can see and not see. So utilize those when you're streaming. If you want to put on a show that has those. Again, this is a moral conundrum with myself of like, I need to tell these people that they have the tools to do all these things, because it backs up my argument as to how you're able to control your channel. And the other side, I'm like, but why am I encouraging people not to be political and not to actually be engaged with their local politics? Why am I doing this? You know, it's a fight I have with myself quite often. Just imagine if someone was doing that at your house privately while you're trying to play a game. Well, I don't know if I agree with that. Because you've made an agreement to put yourself on camera and put yourself on a website that is public for everybody to watch you. You're not just opening your front door and allowing anybody to come in. They're completely different things, I think. And that's also important to think about when you're streaming. You have made the choice to make your face or your gameplay or whatever it is public on a public website. You've made that choice. So if you accepted that people may or may not come in and be mean or toxic or rude, you've basically signed that contract to agree to that. That may happen. So to think about it, this is exactly why I have the weird argument, and I find it very uncomfortable to be to talk about this sometimes, where it comes with, well, if anything's compared to like a party, right? People talk about parties. Oh, I'm going to leave this party to go to the other party, with the whole like self-promotion thing, or saying I'm going to go watch this or whatever it might be. I don't find that to be a good argument. So for the example I'm talking about, which is, hey, I loved it here. It was super fun. I'm going to go watch Loco. She's playing this. I'll catch you guys later. And some people will see that as very rude and saying, well, I don't like this party, I'm gonna go to a different party. And you wouldn't say that at a party. It's like, no, it's not a direct comparison. I don't think this is a direct comparison, because if you're at a party and you've spent some time there, is it totally wrong to say, well, I was invited to 2 parties, or I really want to go to 2 parties tonight, so I've spent some time here, I really loved it here. I'm not attempting to offend you, I'm not having fun here, but I also want to go check out that other party as well. Seems like a good time. I don't see that as the same thing as what a lot of people have compared it to, which is, oh, guys, I don't like this party, I'm going to a different party. I don't think it's the same thing, right? And the same thing goes with you agreeing to be on a public platform. That's going to happen. Now, is it something people should say? Or is it something that people need to say, I should say? That's a better word, need. Is it something that people need to say? No. In fact, nobody needs to say anything when they're leaving, right? I think it's pretty much, I think in the streaming culture, it is widely known that if somebody stops talking for a while, you're probably not going to address them, right? There's no need to address them. There's no need to search them out in the viewer list, right? Because they could be doing whatever. That is their own choice and their own privacy to be doing whatever. Because we've understood that if they go away for a little bit, we don't need to at them or we don't need to call them out, right? That's just how it goes. And I hardly ever say goodbye in a stream. I just kind of slowly fade away because it doesn't draw any attention to the fact that a streamer might be saying, oh, they're leaving, what they're leaving for, and then paranoia sits in. All these things can happen. If I say, oh, I'm gonna go get some food, I'll be right back. I usually say that, but I don't even need to say that, right? Because I'm watching and having a good time. There's no it's too much. It's too much going on. It's too much of a hell house. And if you're really worried about people leaving to go do other things, other than maybe I did something wrong, or don't even think about it that way either. Don't think about it if you did something wrong. Keep doing the best you possibly can. And if people still leave after you're doing the best you possibly can, that's not your fault. That's absolutely not your fault. You're doing nothing wrong. You're doing your best. That is all you can do. Okay? And, obviously prompt as many people as possible. And I've gotten much feedback. It's all kind of the same, and it scientifically doesn't help me, but emotionally it does. When I ask people, hey, are you liking what we're doing? If you're liking the stream and the game that we're playing, can you hit a 1 in chat? Like that, streamers can do that to help figure out what it is that they're trying to figure out. And that will help with your mood too. This is all part of the mood as well. I usually like to say bye, not always. Sure. If you want to say bye, you totally can. Personally, I just don't. But again, if you feel the urge or need to say, hey, Loco just came on, she's playing this game, I really want to check it out. I'm gonna go. I see you guys later. Thank you guys so much. If you need to say that, then say it. Well, I don't know. It depends on who you're watching, I guess. I personally don't have a problem with that because I don't see that as a rude thing. I don't see that as a rude thing. I really don't. But I know a lot of people do, and it's because of that same thing. It's because of that house party comparison that I don't agree with. And the same thing goes with any part of that. Yeah, I don't agree with that comparison. And that's the reason. And I hope that makes sense. You should say I'm leaving, might come back. It ties to the old Twitch keep viewers mindset. It does. It very much does. And it's not even the old Twitch. It's still that way. It's still that way of you'll see this all the time. If you go look at your line graph of viewership over a stream, it's never like a just straight line or a smooth line, right? It's always a up down up down up down up down 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 up down up down 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 down. It's the freaking Konami code, right? Because that's not like Twitch not registering people and glitching out. That's people coming in and out, right? That's just what happens. People just do that. It has nothing to do with you just all of a sudden having a bad couple seconds and then, it might be if somebody shows up at that time where you're not having a good, entertaining couple seconds, but that is just how it goes. You cannot be entertaining 100% of the time for 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day or 12 hours a day, however long you stream. You cannot do that. It is not possible. I've seen the most entertaining people in the world be done after like 3 hours. Because it's exhausting. You can't do that. Us streamers have not been trained to be entertaining for a certain amount of time straight. We've been kind of trained to keep a consistency, right? Consistency of a mid-level amount of entertainment with like some spikes here and there of really, really fun and cool stuff. I mean, watch the most popular streamers in the world. Guarantee they're not entertaining the entire time. Right? They have spurts. They have little sections. They have little... Think about that. Think about that. Do the things that you think are going to be the most fun for your people to watch. And be prepared for the boring parts. It's gonna happen. It happens in everything, right? In filmmaking, how long do you think takes last? Takes last 2 minutes at most, right? And that's a long take. 2 minutes is a very, very, very long take. So for everybody to be entertaining for 2 minutes, that is a skill. That is a huge skill. Look at stand-up comedians. They like when they're working, they've been working for a while and they're doing like, you know, their sets and stuff while they're warming up, and they're actually doing like real sets. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. When you get really good, you do 30 minutes. When you get really popular and really, really good, you do an hour. But that is 1 hour. And this is the top dogs. 1 hour of pure entertainment. That is incredible. That is something people work years to work up to. So as a streamer who's on live for 6 to 12 hours a day, you have to think about the fact that you cannot be entertaining for that long. So don't be upset when you see the line graph do this, right? Because somebody might show up and just not be interested. You can't teach people, right? You can't teach people to just stick around for a little bit because there's going to be something in a couple seconds or a minute or two or 5 minutes from now that'll be entertaining. You can't teach people that because that's just not how that's not how people work these days. People don't go in and say, "Oh, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and see if this person entertains me." No, they're going to hop channels and find something that entertains them right then and there, and then they stick around. It's a numbers game at that point, but that's just how it goes. So don't let that affect your mood. People talk about not having their viewer number on their screen all the time. Personally, I was very much like that for like 4 years. In the last year, I always had my viewer number up. I like to know what's going on in my channel. I like to know all the stuffs and stats that goes on in my channel. It doesn't affect anything I do anymore. I think I've trained very hard to not let it affect me. But it's something it's information that I like to have, right? It's information I enjoy having in front of me. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It shouldn't change the way I do my stream. Sometimes I mention it. It's like, oh, there's 300 people in here. That's freaking awesome. Welcome in, everybody. Or, hey, dude, you guys are awesome. All 15 of you are doing fantastic. That happens too, right? But that takes training as well. I wouldn't recommend keeping your viewer number up. That's just because I do it now. I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't, especially when you're just starting, or maybe you're really worried about what's going on, right? I'm worried about my stream and stuff like that, so it does affect me afterwards and before, but that's gonna do that anyway, right? It's impossible to be on for that hours on end. It definitely, 100%. There's nobody does that. Nobody's able to do that. Whether to say goodbye depends on viewership. If it's a busy chat, I don't feel the need. I got you. Yeah, it makes sense. One of the best advice I got early on is that a good portion of viewers are just coming and going. Yep, 100%. Yeah, and the more and more you think about that and understand it, the more you accept that you lose 10 viewers here, you gain 10 viewers there. That's just normal. Everybody does that. The thing is, with big streams, you don't really notice it as much, right? You really don't. Look at Summit, one of the highest viewed streams on the platform. You won't know that he loses and gains hundreds of viewers at a time. But he does, right? Hundreds. Because people may be checking it out and be like, and there's a lot, the thing is, he's been around for a long time, so people know what to expect when they go there, so they stick around. But there's people that don't know him, go see the channel because he's playing a game that they like, and it's like, oh, why is oh, okay, all right, bye. I'm not really having fun. Okay, see ya. That happens, you know. That's gonna happen. It happens to literally everybody on this platform. Literally everybody on this platform, it happens to. Actually, literally everyone, everywhere, on every content creation platform. I mean, watch YouTube. It's a very small number of people that watch an entire video. I don't know how small it is, but I've heard it once. It's a small number. Like in the 10s or 20s of percent that watch entire videos. It's small. So attention span and viewership like that, it's just not the same, right? Because there's often not a full story being said, right? Even look at a TV show, it's not 100% of people that watch a TV show finish the episode, right? Some people just don't want to watch it anymore and they just turn it off. But the reason people watch TV shows all the way through is because there's a beginning, middle, and end usually. Or you want to see what leads into the next thing, you know? That doesn't work. This is a different medium necessarily. It's a different medium. We don't have a beginning, middle, and end to a broadcast. Sometimes, actually a lot of the time, especially in gaming, we don't really have a beginning, middle, and end to a YouTube video, right? We have a continuation, a chunk of funny stuff or entertainment stuff, and then we have, hey, we're done with this video, watch the next one, right? There's no like real story there unless you like are doing something where the game kind of dictates that, or you're really, really good and script out every single video, which takes a lot of time and effort, which I don't have. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't worry. Don't let that affect your mood. That's going to happen 100% of the time. Do not let that affect your mood. I think that's why it helps to have a good community in chat. Yeah, but you can't control that all the time. Right? Right? I have a great community. And sometimes we have an awesome chat. But sometimes there's a lot of people just lurking. We'll have 500 people in the channel with 2 people talking. And people get very curious about that, by the way. People get very curious about that. Hey, why is there 500 people in here and nobody's chatting? Your guess is as good as mine. Probably just because everybody's chilling and watching and having a great time. But people get suspicious of, is this person view-botting? If this person's view-botting, I need to be offended for all the people that this person is hurting because they're view-botting. It's that whole being offended for other people type of thing too. It's that same mentality. It may not be the same thought process, but it's the same mentality of, I need to be mad at this because it's not legitimate, even though I don't actually know it's not legitimate. I'm just making a guess, right? That's where it comes from. If something is really not legitimate, it's probably okay to be at least a little upset about it. But often this whole, like, I need to be upset for other people. In fact, Bert Kreischer has a great bit about it in his latest special. If you're going to be offended by something about somebody else, but you're not actually for sure, but you may think you're for sure, but you're not actually for sure that that's offending the other person, or it is even offensive to that other person, maybe don't be offended by it at all. Maybe don't be offended by it at all. Why? Because, well, it's none of your business. And 2, it may not be something that's actually offensive. So, again, just do your best. Just do your best. Just do your best. That's it. That's basically the bottom line to this entire subject of paying attention to your attitude on stream or on camera. Do your best. You don't have to always be happy, but if something's upsetting you, be honest about it. Maybe think about it a little bit. Own it, right? Own it and accept what's going on so that you can control it. And then move on. Just do your best. That's it. Just do your best. That's it. I often have about 8 to 10 channels I'm regularly watching and stream that are streaming at once. I'll have 3 tabs open and switch between them. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. Sure. Running a YouTube channel can confirm the amount of people who view an entire video for any given amount for any given video is minuscule. Yep. That's why when people watch 20% of a video, they consider it a success. When the majority of the viewers on a video watch 20% or more, it is considered a successful video. It's quite presumptuous to be offended on behalf of somebody else or others. Yeah, exactly. It is. This is why it's so annoying. Some streamers have no viewer count talk as a chat rule, so there's that too. Yeah. Because people don't want to know their viewer number. It doesn't matter to. I mean, it really never matters while you're live, right? I like seeing it because I like the information. Because I like information. But no, it's irrelevant. Honestly, it's an irrelevant piece of information. I'm not even always looking at it. It's just there. It's an irrelevant piece of information that you don't need during a stream. Because if it affects how you stream, well, that's a problem. In my opinion, that's an issue. Right? It's like the closet racists, right? Oh, I'm around my very close friends, so I can be racist right now. No, you can't. No, that's not how that works. No. I've seen a lot of people who, you know, have a low amount of viewership who will kind of be toxic and a little bit like crass and say some things that they don't say when they all of a sudden have like 100 viewers. Why? Why do you do this? Why? What's the why? I don't understand why. It's ingenuine, I guess. So if I see you change your attitude when you have more viewers, I get a little bit of an ingenuine vibe from you. Obviously, I probably don't know you well enough to give you a full vibe, but that's usually what I get. In their Discord, I do my best to make sure they know we support that decision. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I don't think should ever stop in talking about, you know, making people aware of their mental health, because that's important to be aware and accept that there are things that you can help and fix. But we've gone in a lot of areas, we've gone a little bit too far in providing advice to people, right? We've made it very clear, because, well, it's lawyers that do this, that you can't give legal advice on Twitch and on the platform. But that's because lawyers put it together. If doctors were on stream more, they would develop the rules that you shouldn't give medical, either whether it's physical or mental advice on the internet either. But we don't have enough doctors here. So yeah, people have taken that a little bit too far, and it actually definitely needs to stop. So it's one of those things to be careful with, but it's very important to, be open about the fact that there are lots of issues out there, and it's okay to talk about them. You know, just refrain from giving advice all the time. Be there for your community. Be there for your friends. Of course, I'm here for you. You want to talk about it? I'll listen. Great. But getting advice and asking for advice, that's something I don't think has any place here on Twitch. Because it's dangerous, right? Not because I'm trying to control the platform and I just want the platform to be pure. No, it's dangerous. It's literally dangerous. That's the big reason for that. People acting differently when they suddenly find out that they're being recorded on camera. If you're not willing to be caught doing it, you might not want to do it at all. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. There's a couple things to that, though. Not just their attitude and changing that. A lot of the time, why it's offensive to be caught on camera, and why we have the two-party rule here in California, is because there's often very sensitive information that you may give to somebody in private that you do not want to be recorded, which is a big part of that too. That's because I've been caught recorded a couple times, and it has been, my attitude has changed from, not from like, oh, I'm going to change my attitude, to where you shouldn't be doing that, and you've irritated me a little bit. Because like, what if I said something that was NDA, that was under NDA, to people that were also under the same NDA? If you recorded that, well then, I don't know what you're going to do with that. That's a breach of privacy. Always awkward when a racist assumes you're a racist and says something racist expecting you to agree. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, when in my experience with that, it's usually they don't understand it's racist. which is a different issue, but it's its own issue. Which mean in general? Yeah. Well, you mean in your version, right? In general is saying that everybody agrees on the same thing here. You mean in your version. I'm saying in my version, obviously, you may connect those. They're both relevant, is what I'm saying. And I don't think that's an extenuating circumstance. I think it's a different circumstance. But yes. Yes, I get what you're saying. How are we doing? How are we doing? How far are we in? We're an hour in. My goodness, did I really speak for that long? Chat, you listened to me for that long? While I talked about... attitudes? And streaming? You listened to me while I did all that for an hour? My goodness. My goodness. My goodness. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. We're in tune with attitudes. Wait, would you say you're in tune with attitudes? No? Okay, I'll leave. Okay, I'll find my way out the door. Don't worry, I know where it is. Don't worry, I know where the door is. Intititudes. Wait, no, wait, hold on. What did I just say? A dude with a tude. A rude tude. Yes, all the tudes. Every single tude that ever existed were there. Alright, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name has been Danotage, a.k.a. Dano, a.k.a. the weird guy with the weird mustache. If you're new to the channel, just follow it. Twitch.tv/StreamerSquare. Follow us. Join us in Discord. Discord.gg/Danotage is me. /StreamerSquare. YouTube.com/user/StreamerSquare. We got all these things that come up. You can also listen to it on your favorite podcast platform. It'll be there. If you have any questions, please, honestly, join the Discord. If you have any questions for me, I have my own little channel there. Ask me a question. I'll see it. Whatever you got. Okay? Hit us up on Twitter as well. I am Danotage, like I said. Yeah, I'm Danotage everywhere. Danotage. That's right here on Twitch. We stream most nights. So, like, I'll go live in like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. Probably 4 hours. So catch me there. We'll be playing some Crossing of the Animals, and we will be playing some Mountain Blade. Mountain Blade Dose. Benor Lord. Benur Lord. Good? Thanks, everybody. I hope you guys had a fun time with Behind the Streams. It was a good show talking about new mod stuff. Happy Mod Day, everybody. Happy Mod Day. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope it was well for you. And I'll see you guys next time, okay? Remember to stay positive, play more games, and read more comics. The 3 things I ask you to do. Hopefully you do one of them. Hopefully you do 3 of them. Do them all. But I hope you do at least one. And please enjoy the rest of your day. Good show. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Have a good day! Oh no! Animan. Have a good one, my friend. Hi and bye. See ya! Let's see. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time, okay?